Welcome to the Brett Mason Monday Podcast, a mix of random and funny to start your Monday. And now with his co-host Kayla, here's Brett Mason.
Welcome into the Brett Mason Monday Podcast. I am your humble and not really right in the head host, Brett Mason. August the 25th, countdown week to college football, baby. I don't know about you, but I found myself over the weekend watching these games of schools I'd never heard of before just to watch some ball. And what I learned is these kids are really talented. Obviously, if I stepped on the field with them in any position, I would just get slaughtered. But you see the talent level difference between these schools and the SEC especially, but the entire division really. But, college football is coming. I cannot wait. We got Thursday night games. South Carolina. It's actually going to be a decent game instead of a crappy one, so I'm excited about that. And then we got Alabama and Auburn on Saturday. Both of those will be playing. Yeah, baby. So I run across this story, and I have a question to pose to you. Oh, by the way, coming up later in the podcast, dunking somebody unexpectedly and the Dunk Somebody with Ice Water campaign. And we'll talk about that a little bit. And maybe not much else, I'm not sure. I'm very disappointed that I thought I would have a co-host, Kayla. This is the third week now without any Kayla, after she committed to doing it with me. So I think I'm going to take the name off the podcast, and maybe I'll take applications. So this couple, Alex and Lisa, from New York, took a challenge from a company that makes the WeChat app, which specializes in having 1 trillion emojis on it. You know what emojis are, right? Emoticons, emojis. It's the little smileys, frownies, waving people. You get deep into it, there's a little picture for every single thing in the world, which apparently is this chat app's claim to fame. So they took a challenge with this company to all of their text would only be emojis. I don't know that this is a good idea. In my experience, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but in my experience with women, I can hardly understand women when we're speaking English. And even when I think I understand them perfectly, all too many times have I been informed that I didn't have a clue what they were saying, what they felt, what they needed, in spite of the fact that I really tried. So now you're going to take a couple, they're not married, they've been together a while, and now we can only text each other using emojis. Yet this sounds like a recipe for disaster. So I'm reading this article earlier, and they give some screenshot examples of some text message conversations that they had during the month. So I'm just going to, this needs to be visual, but I'm going to try to spell it out for you, and maybe you can follow along. So she sends him a text. It's a picture of 2 critters holding hands, followed by a picture of a woman, followed by the picture of a skull, followed by the picture of, it looks like a parrot crying, followed by the picture of what they had determined to be him. Him and her set up emojis for themselves at the beginning that anytime you see this little character, this is me, and anytime I see that character, it's you. So her character for him, and then one of those no signs, the circle with the red circle with the red slash. Like, it doesn't cover anything up, it's just a circle with a slash, so that's means no, I guess. Then there's a bus, and then there's 2 beer glasses together. Now, if I were to interpret this, the 2 people together, I would interpret to be we or us. So we are us. Some blonde-headed woman, death, we woman, death, cry, you can't bust drinks. So the guy was like me trying to figure it out. He interpreted it to mean she was very excited about having drinks with him later, and he replied to tell her how excited he was, too, that they'd be having drinks later. At which point she had to call him on the phone and inform him that what her message really meant is that they couldn't have drinks tonight because her best friend had just died. I don't want to knock these people or anything, but if I'm her, I'm thinking if my best friend dies, I'm going to forgo the texting and hieroglyphics and call him on the phone and go, hey, God, My best friend just died. That's commitment right there. That's commitment when your best friend dies and you text your man to let him know and you must be devastated. And you still stick with the I'm only going to use emojis thing. Oh, God. Anyways, after 30 days, they say that it brought them closer together. They communicate better, understand each other better, and they find themselves still only texting each other in emojis. I would think the text where you couldn't communicate that your best friend had just died would be a clue to stop doing it. It's not an effective means of communication. That's why when we look at hieroglyphics in caveman times, we don't know exactly what they were saying. We kind of can guess at what they were saying, but we don't know exactly. It would have been good if they'd had a 26-letter alphabet. I'm just telling you. Now in today's segment of You Should Have Went to a Higher Quality Cooking School, I bring you the story of a Chinese chef, Ping Fang, from the Foshan, Guangdong province. Ping Fang was making a meal using the Indo-Chinese spitting cobra as its main ingredient. Not just a cobra, a spitting cobra. A cobra that wants to bite you is bad enough, but you had to go find one that will also spit at you. Y'all ain't got chicken over there? That's my first question. He went to throw the snake's head in the... Okay, now we got a second problem. So you've decided you're going to make the Indo-Chinese spitting cobra soup, or whatever it's called. You can't use the body of it. You can't slice it open and get some meat from the belly. You got to throw the head in there. What school of chefery did you go to? Here's a quote. We did not know what was happening, but we could hear screams coming from the kitchen. Why did they hear screams coming? When he went to throw the dead snake's head into the spitting snake soup that he was about to prepare, the snake was still having reflex actions, and it reflexively bit the man. They said the snake had been dead for 20 minutes. Expert Yang Hong Chang. There's an expert in spitting cobra soup. I guess there must be if there's a chef school over there. This is a quote from the expert. Reptiles can function for up to an hour after decapitation. By the time a snake has lost its head, it's effectively dead as basic body functions have ceased. But there's still reflexive actions. It means snakes have the ability to bite and inject venom long after the head has been severed. Which calls into question, again, the genius of making spitting cobra head soup. Anyways, rest in peace, young man. You died trying to make somebody's dream of eating this meal come true. I don't know what else to say. Lastly, we're going to talk about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Now, I've seen some stuff go viral on the internet in my time. Now I sound like some grandpa talking to his grandson. But I've seen this happen. But I don't think I've seen anything go as viral as the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. And I think part of the reason is that people like to be seen. And I don't mean this in a derogatory way, so please don't take it that way. But I believe people like to be seen. They like to do stuff that's considered somewhat exciting or different or out of the ordinary for their lives. And so it catches on. Because even though all these people are protesting, oh God, I'm dreading... You're not dreading it, really. A few people probably are, but most people that are doing the challenge are probably excited about it. They're excited about a lot of people viewing their video. They're excited about the fact of calling other people out and challenging them. and they're excited that they're going to get ice water doused on them while it's recording, and it's going to get probably several views from all their friends and family, and maybe even go viral if it's a good one. Again, there's nothing wrong with any of that. I just find it fascinating that this is what's going viral. So the last figure I've seen from this the research group for ALS was something like 41 million has been donated. I've seen people protesting it because aborted fetus stem cells are used in the research. I've seen many people do the challenge and never mention one thing ever. Matter of fact, most of the videos you see now never mention anything about a donation. They just say, I was challenged to do the ice bucket. And I challenged Fred and Uncle Cecil and my cousin Gemini. And then they douse themselves and scream and it's over. And you don't get a link to where to donate to. You don't get an explanation of the challenge. Which when the challenge originally started, it went like this. You have two choices. You can do the ice bucket and pay $10, donate $10 to this ALS organization. And it had a link to where you go do it. Or you could donate $100 and forgo doing the ice bucket. So for the many people who really don't care about dousing themselves with ice water, you could write a $100 check and you could go on and do a video and go, you know what? I didn't want to dunk myself with the ice water, so I'm writing my $100 check. Here it is. And now I challenge Aunt Martha and cousin Billy Bob and my niece Sally to do the ice bucket challenge. You have 24 hours. You can douse yourself with ice water and donate $10, or you can forego the ice bucket and donate $100. And that's the rules. You don't see any of that now. None of that's included. It's just like, hey, y'all, I got nominated for some ice water. And I nominate so-and-so. Woo! And then that's the end of it. It's over with. So I guess just by the fact that people are Googling it to see what the hell is going on, people are still finding the ALS research organization and they're being motivated to donate. And then there's some people still doing the ice challenge right. So I guess some people are donating from that. But it makes me wonder what the donation levels would be if everybody did the ALS challenge correctly. If they actually donated, which, well, I know from at least two people I talked to that they didn't. They thought once by dumping the water on them, they didn't have to donate nothing. That's not the challenge. The challenge is to donate $10 and do ice water. That's the challenge. And if you don't do both of those things, you didn't take the challenge. You just dumped water on your head and talked about ALS, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with promoting ALS. That's a great thing. People need to be aware of the diseases that we have in the world today. But you didn't take the challenge. You made up your own challenge. You made up your own rules, because those are not the rules of the ALS challenge. So I'm not sure what the favorite one I've seen yet is. I'm going to throw two of them out there at you. You can go just Google them yourself. They're easy to find. Sarah Palins was highly predictable, but I'm mesmerized by Sarah Palin. I can tell you this. Sarah Palin is still incredibly hot to me. And I don't know how old she is now. She's old enough to be my mom, I know, at least. But she's so incredibly hot, and she's in this really awesome red or something dark red suit. Her upper chest area is pulling and tugging at the clothes she's wearing, trying to break free. She's writing checks for large amounts of money. And she's trying to be all coy, like she's writing the check and she ain't going to get doused with water. And when that concept is delivered, which is not very long into the video, you know immediately that she will get doused with water. I mean, if you don't know that, you're not very perceptive at picking up on things. So let's just be clear about that. So at the end of it, in comes somebody that dunks her. And there's few things as satisfying to me as seeing Sarah Palin get dunked with cold water. It was fantastic. The other one that I really liked was Bo Jackson, famed Auburn running back. Starts up with a close-up shot of Bo, and he's challenging people, and Bo challenges basically everybody in the country, like every sports player ever, every agent ever, every business owner. He challenges everybody on the planet. Then he proceeds to put on floaties. He's got an inner tube on and a snorkel and flippers. And then you see this big honking piece of machinery behind him with a big bucket, and it just dumps. Must be like thousands of gallons of water on him. So I thought that one was nice. So if you haven't seen those, you can check those two out. And there you go. There's my rant and my ramble about the Ice Bucket Challenge. That's really all I got to say about that. I tell you what, 15 minutes ought about wrap it up for today's show. Happy Monday to you. Countdown to football. Don't forget the Friday podcast this Friday. If you don't do anything else, look, go like our Tigers and Tide Facebook page. It's just facebook.com/Tigers and Tide. Me and Jamie Thompson every Friday run down the best in college, Alabama and Auburn football. We're going to start getting you pumped up for the game. So I have insights, injury reports, predictions about the game, analysis, and a whole lot of fun and a little bit of good-natured Auburn, Alabama ragging back and forth. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. So that happens, and we would love to have you listen to that every Friday. And have a great week.
Thanks for listening to Brett Mason Monday. New podcasts are released every weekday at 10 a.m. on the Facebook page. Make sure you look for tomorrow's podcast, Cancer Talk Tuesday, the best guest, research, and cancer information available.